it, in a peaceful little village nestled among green rice fields and rolling hills. The sun peeked out, casting a warm golden glow. Butterflies danced in the morning air, and the happy laughter of children echoed softly from afar. This is where our story begins, with a very special friend. A fluffy orange cat with big, kind eyes and a gentle heart padded softly through the village. His name was Ginger, and everyone knew him. He greeted the chickens as they pecked for seeds, nodded to the ducks splashing in the pond, and rubbed against the legs of the friendly villagers starting their day. He loved his home, a place where everything felt just right. But today, something was different. The familiar morning bell, which always rang out to wake the village, was silent. The baker looked up from his dough, the farmer paused in his field, and the children stopped their games. They whispered to each other, feeling a little lost without the bell's cheerful song to guide their day. It was the sound that told them when to wake, when to work, and when to play. Without it, the village felt incomplete. Ginger, with his sharp ears and curious mind, noticed the stillness too. He tilted his head, listening intently. Instead of the bell, he heard a faint, delicate tinkling sound, like tiny wind chimes carried on the breeze. It came from the direction of the forest that bordered the village. His curiosity piqued. Ginger decided he had to find out what was wrong. He said a silent goodbye to the worried villagers and trotted toward the winding forest path, his little paws determined to solve the mystery. As he entered the forest, warm sunlight streamed down through the leaves of the tall trees, creating dancing patterns on the ground. It was a magical place, full of life and quiet wonders. Ginger walked carefully, stepping over tangled roots and smooth, mossy stones. The air was cool and smelled of damp earth and sweet wildflowers. He wasn't scared. His kind heart knew that the forest was a friend. Along the way, his gentle nature shone through. He saw a little turtle struggling to cross a small, babbling stream. The current was a bit too strong for its tiny legs. Ginger found a sturdy, flat leaf, nudged it into the water to make a little bridge, and watched as the grateful turtle safely made its way to the other side. A little further on, he heard a faint peeping sound. Looking up, he saw a tiny baby bird that had fallen from its nest. It was trembling on the ground. Ginger approached it slowly, so as not to frighten it, and with a soft, gentle nudge of his nose, he helped the little bird hop back into its cozy home, where its mother was waiting. Ginger continued his journey, the faint sound of the wind chimes growing a little stronger. The forest was calm, and his slow, steady pace made everything feel peaceful. He was just a little cat on a big adventure, but his heart was full of courage and kindness. He knew he was getting closer to the source of the sound and closer to understanding why his village had fallen silent. Suddenly, a new sound broke the forest's quiet hum. It was a soft, sad crying. Ginger followed the sound, his ears twitching. There, tangled in a thicket of thorny bushes, was a baby deer. Its big brown eyes were filled with tears, and it was shivering with fear. It had wandered away from its family and was now completely stuck. Ginger's heart went out to the little fawn. He approached slowly, making a soft, purring sound to let the deer know he was a friend. He didn't rush. He sat down a little distance away, blinking his kind eyes, showing the frightened creature that he meant no harm. The baby deer's cries softened as it watched the gentle cat. With great patience, Ginger began to work. He used his paws and his teeth to gently pull away the loose vines and thorny branches that trapped the fawn. He worked carefully, one branch at a time, creating a clear path. He then led the fawn slowly away from the bushes, guiding it toward higher ground, toward the sound of the wind chimes he had been following. As they climbed the hill, the trees began to thin, and the forest opened up to a sunlit clearing. And there, on the very top of the hill, Ginger saw it, the missing village bell. It had fallen from its old wooden frame and now lay on its side near the roots of an ancient tree covered in moss and leaves. The wind could no longer push its clapper to make it ring. Instead, the breeze was rustling a set of old, forgotten wind chimes hanging from a nearby branch, the very sound that had guided Ginger here. He knew what he had to do. The bell was too heavy for one little cat to lift. Ginger pushed against it with all his might, but it barely budged. So he did the only thing he could. He stood tall and let out a series of loud, clear meows, calling for help. His call echoed through the forest, and soon help arrived. The birds he had helped, the family of the little turtle, and even some curious goats from a nearby farm gathered around. A group of villagers, including the children who had been worried all morning, had also followed the sounds and emerged from the forest path. They saw the fallen bell and the little orange cat standing beside it, and they understood, together everyone worked as a team. The villagers used their strength to lift the heavy bell, while the goats helped clear the old moss and vines. The birds chirped encouragement from the branches above. With a final, collective push, they hoisted the bell back onto its sturdy wooden frame. A gentle breeze swept across the hilltop, and the bell swayed, letting out a soft, clear ring. The sound was beautiful. It rolled down the hill and across the fields, reaching every corner of the village. Back in their homes, people heard it and smiled. Their bell was back on the hilltop. The children clapped and cheered with delight. Just then, the baby deer's family appeared at the edge of the clearing, and the little fawn ran joyfully to its mother. Everyone's heart was full of happiness and relief. The warm light of the afternoon sun filled the sky, and it felt like the whole world was smiling. As evening began to fall, Ginger made his way back through the village. The familiar bell now rang softly, signaling the end of the day. Lanterns began to glow in the windows of the cozy houses, and the delicious smell of dinner filled the air. Families gathered together, their worries gone. The children saw their furry hero walking by and waved, their faces bright with gratitude. As he passed one house, a little girl quietly placed a bowl of fresh milk on her doorstep and whispered, "Thank you, Ginger." The sun finally set, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. Ginger found his favorite spot, a small wooden bridge over a quiet stream. He sat down, cleaned his paws, and looked up at the sky. One by one, the stars began to appear, twinkling like tiny diamonds. Softly glowing fireflies danced in the air around him, their lights blinking in the twilight. A peaceful, magical feeling settled over the village. Ginger, the little hero with the big, kind heart, closed his eyes, listening to the gentle sounds of the night. All was well. Thank you for joining us on this gentle adventure. We hope it brought a little bit of peace and happiness to your day. If you enjoyed our story, please like and subscribe for more peaceful tales. Sweet dreams.